you know, the fact is that there's always been a concern about what books young people are reading. You know, our office has been in business for several decades. We've been collecting data on book censorship in libraries since the early 90s. And, you know, so there's always been this background of some parents concerned about some of the books their kids are reading. And what's remarkable is it happens in any community. You know, you may not know this, but North Jersey, which you would see as a primarily set of communities that have professionals that work in the city of New York and things like that, that's been one of our hotspots for censorship. We've had upstate New York, we've had challenges right here. I live in Chicago, and we've had challenges in suburban communities where you would never expect censorship to be taking place. It is not a red state or blue state issue. It's really an issue of supporting the ability of young people to find the books they want to read, supporting the families so that they can find the books that reflect their lives and experiences on the shelf of the libraries. It has been, I will say that right now we're in the midst of an effort to turn it into a political wedge issue. Certainly Republicans have had some success at the ballot box in the past, and they see it as a way of peeling off suburban voters, particularly suburban mothers. But I think they're finding it's not what they thought it would be. We are learning that in school board elections this spring, where slates of individuals who are dedicated to censoring books for young people actually did not win seats. In fact, they came in last in the elections. And that actually confirms what we know. We've done polling with professional polling organizations, other entities like Pew and CBS News, Washington Post. They've all done polls. And consistently what we're finding is 70% of people across political parties, across race, parents, voters, oppose the use of censorship. They don't want the government telling them what to read, and they don't want the government telling them what their kids can read. And they're opposed to all those efforts. And so, but the sad fact is that you could turn around and even in the middle of New York City, or we've had challenges here in the middle of Chicago. You can't assume simply because somebody's in a blue state or red state that censorship isn't happening there. I think it only takes a few true believers in a community to incite a controversy and threaten individuals' freedom to read. And again, circling back, what's important is for individuals to step up and defend their libraries, defend their librarians, defend their teachers, defend the schools that are facing these attacks, because the librarians and educators are public servants. They've chosen a profession that doesn't pay very much, but they get joy out of providing books to young people and the community as a whole, making sure that there's broadband access, support for people looking for employment, veterans getting access to benefits, even things as odd as, proctoring exams for people who are doing online education and things like that. Libraries do so many things for their community that support the economy, that support the well-being of the community. It's sometimes easy to take it for granted, but we have to be there to defend the libraries when these groups attack the library. And you can be sure that really what's behind some of this is an effort to dismantle the public good, to even close libraries. We've seen these groups propose defunding libraries when they don't succeed in getting the books off the shelf. When, like in your community, the decision is made to retain the books. Well, what's the next step? Let's take away the library's money, take away the institution of the library as a whole from the community, so no one can read the books they don't want you to read. And so they elevate politics over the ability of the community to have access to all those services and to the wealth of ideas that you'll find in books, whether it's for education or enrichment, personal enjoyment. We all should cherish the fact that we have a government and a society, or really a set of governments in a society that supports the ability of everyone to find access to the information they need to improve their lives, change jobs, or just simply have a good life and enjoy it. And we need to protect that fiercely. we're actually doing a number of things. And the very first and most important thing is we provide individual support for librarians going through experiences like this. They can call our office and they'll find an OIF staffer at the other end of the line who will talk to them about their experience, offer resources that will help support them, make connections with peers who can just be a buddy on the phone, for example, during a very difficult time. We help identify legal information that will help them with the books. You know, what does the First Amendment say about this? What does the law say about this? And we'll provide that information to them and generally help them through the experience. And that's been a large part of the work of the Office for Intellectual Freedom now for decades. But the more interesting work we're doing now is we've got we have to recognize that this is all happening at the local level. You know, it's happening at board meetings, it's happening in small communities, and it really is a matter of recognizing that all library politics, all school politics are local. So it's incumbent upon all of us as residents in a community to support the librarians, to support the teachers, to support the school administrators by going to school board meetings and speaking out. These groups have had enormous success only because they're the only voice in the room when they go to school boards. We need individuals to make the choice, to get involved, become aware about what's going on at the board level, to know who their candidates are when they vote for people going on school boards or library boards, and to make sure that they're voting for the candidate that's going to support their freedom to make their own choices about their reading rather than choosing the books for them. We actually have a new initiative, or fairly new initiative. It's just a year old at ALA. It's called Unite Against Book Bans. That's Unite, not United, but uniteagainstbookbans.org. And there is a toolkit there for individuals to empower themselves, to understand the issue, to find talking points and strategies, to speak up in defense of the freedom to read, to be in opposition to these groups that have found so much success in the last few years in removing books, terrorizing librarians, really bringing the culture wars home to our communities and our libraries in a way that really is not helpful in any way, shape, or form, and really is hurtful for the targets of their censorship, like gay kids, trans kids, Black kids, who have seen the removal of books that reflect their lives from libraries, and they tell us it's incredibly hurtful. But the important thing is to get involved at the local level and speak up, pay attention, and Unite Against Book Bans will provide guidance and tools on how to do that. And for communities that are going through a challenge, we can actually offer community organizing assistance. We have a new staff member, Betsy Gomez, who does community organizing with local groups. And, you know, we've helped citizen groups in Louisiana, in Texas, a number of other states get organized and speak out against censorship. And I will tell you, in watching attempts to remove books over the years, whenever there is a group of parents, a group of residents who are strong enough to stand up and speak out against censorship, to support the library staff, to support the board, help make it clear that the community as a whole does not support censorship, and make that clear at board meetings and letters to the editor, even in running for a seat on the board, to make with a dedication to serving the entire community, that those are the communities where censorship doesn't happen, where the demands to remove the books fail and they stay on the shelf. I mean, there's a remarkable community in Colorado, Wellington, that not only turned away the censors, but adopted a new resolution saying that they would never censor books. And so, it's possible to come together and speak out against censorship and win against the bullies and the terrorists, and stand up for the freedom to read.